Warning: the following content may not be suited for younger or sensitive audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Pause. So there's going to be some discrepancies in this video. These discrepancies, they shouldn't be that bad. It's just I have not touched this in so long that I can't remember like when I started it, and I didn't do my classic. So here's where I started the video, which I may have, I just can't find it, and I don't have the energy right now. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm kind of sick. To find it. So I hope you enjoy my stupidity because this video was recorded a couple weeks ago and I just haven't been able to post it yet. And yeah, enjoy the video, I guess.
My he.
Oh
My
my he. Oh my
I'm
my
gonna hurt all of you.
my
he. Oh my
Single brain cell.
One day, Max is going to kill us.
I love the
I'm just waiting for Max to
my
super
I really hope that you do keep some of the random audios that you cut out just for compilations later on. And it's like after campaign's over, you just like put these together. It's like here's what happens whenever I'm like before session, after session, in between things when we have to pause for some reason. Here's the single brain shell ever this party shares. This is why they're stupid. Like you think they're stupid?
This is why I'm at my wit's end.
Like
I have
not
a
stupid.
pen.
You're stupid.
I have an apple. Pineapple
Apple
pen.
Where's everybody?
Pineapple
I have an
pen.
apple.
I have an
oh my god.
Oh, pineapple pen.
If you spell
Applesauce with a B.
You can call it
applesauce.
I didn't XP.
Pass me the cinnamon.
Guys, we scared off the DM. Guys, we scared off the DM. Now that he's gone.
Okay, I'm gonna hurt all of you.
Now that he's gone, we can talk shit.
No, and he's back.
Oh wait,
Guys,
Max.
you
can hear all of this in post.
For the past minute.
Yeah. What's your question?
There we go. Yes, Miss, what's your question?
So, we like are we starting at the kingdom where the funeral's going to happen, or where?
You guys will be starting like at the funeral.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, so we're translating to the once. Wouldn't that take like a month or so?
It takes 2 days to get there, is what we were told.
Also, we were in the same town.
Yeah, like you guys weren't far.
And whenever Zill left, she just said within the next 2 days. So it's like get everyone's shit together, however long that takes, and then make the move. Because I doubt it would take more than a day just with everyone traveling.
Yeah, no, it's not that far apart.
Because I remember whenever we got to this town, I was like, why does that sound familiar? And everyone was like, and then me and Eli were like, oh, this is where their house is. This is where home is.
Bro.
Yeah.
Home
like,
sweet home.
I know where I'm going. I'm leaving the
It's
party.
time to go home, boy.
Yeah, no, so not that much time has passed.
Okay,
yeah.
But before ending, within those 2 days, Luma would have used her second fusion to have made her a bag of holding, but more like a inner pocket type of deal that has like a kind of mixed with an enlarge and reduce spell, just to make things actually able to go inside of her the bag itself, because due to her size, that thing's like only an inch wide or less. Just to let you know.
Okay.
Wouldn't that make a black hole every time she entered Nihilus's cloak?
That she just did that after that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Also, she's taking the alchemy job.
Understandable though.
For party then, for the past 2 days, Orc would have tried to be. He's sad, but he's trying to keep everyone else happy. Is what you could get from what he's been doing. Like he's been making you guys breakfast in the morning, and the whole shebang.
Odysseus has just been out of it. He's out of it.
I got nothing for nothing. Honestly, I'm going to be honest.
Max,
still hasn't been there, but I do want to clarify for all the players. The thing that happened in one-on-one out of session, there's no spoilers, so you guys don't have to avoid that if you want to read it. Between Zill and everything. There's no spoilers there, because I know sometimes people avoid one-on-one out of session. But yeah, just clarifying that for all the players.
Quick question to Max, though. On those one-on-ones and out of sessions, so how do you present that on the video anyway?
So, most of the time they're just lost to history. But if it's like if it's a genuine important kind of moment, then it's going to be read out and posted in a separate video.
Because there was some character development from the conversation with Kenner and Bluma.
Yeah.
We'll get to that eventually, maybe.
Like character development, I'm like for like important stuff. I'm talking about like groundbreaking discovery that somehow made its way into out of session.
Like if there was a monumental discovery between characters in out of session, Max would do that as a separate video, so it's in the story. But like character modes and things like that are more just between characters and not as important to separate things. So yeah.
Anyway, to the story, to the session. So
go ahead. Sorry.
So you guys, it has been like about a day and a half since Idris died and since the battle, and as you guys approach this kind of house in the middle of nowhere, you can see the people. Like there's a lot of people here. There's a lot of fucking people here. And
I have a question. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Is this Idris's house?
Yes.
Okay, so I would. Okay.
This is home. This is home.
This is home.
I'm crying.
Where the heart is.
This is my home.
Before anything makes things clear, because Ken or Nihilus would know that Bluma requested that they do some type of arrangement before they go into the funeral or something like that, because she purposely stated that if she goes into it, she will be doing the. She knows that she will be acting her usual self and showing no respect in the funeral. So she will have asked them to at least find an area that has like blacksmith or something like that where she could spend her time throughout the funeral, because she has little care for Regis.
So that basically would have been the cart for Bluma.
Just a cart?
So, the cart, basically.
So there's no open area
in the middle of nowhere. Well, it's located in the middle of nowhere, and any land that would be quote-unquote open areas would not be stuff Bluma could use. It would be land with, like, animals and stuff. So, like, it's private property, it's just a large property.
That barn you see over there, burn that down twice.
yeah, Sophus has already burnt down the barn twice, guys.
Wait, does Sophus say that in character?
He's so not now. Sophus isn't in the mood.
As you guys are approaching the house, it feels like almost a ripple. Like, it's almost like you guys are like feel like you're kind of going through something, and the cart kind of like shifts and bumps. Something is off. Something feels off.
Could I roll like would be an Arcana?
Sure.
Sure.
Could I ask for a more in-depth description? If that's not possible, then could I roll also Arcana?
Basically, it felt. It felt.
In the bubble?
No.
Okay.
This is not like a bubble that you would have experienced. So this feels like, as you guys go through, this feels like a thicker cobweb, essentially. And if you look back, you can kind of see, like, the area in which you just went through looks kind of weird, a bit wonky.
I'm just going to give Auric advantage.
Oh, you're giving Auric advantage.
Sure.
If you have I have a 3 in Arcana.
I have a plus a 6.
Yeah, or just go for you.
All right. So, is Lopez the one driving the cart right now then?
Probably, yeah.
All right. Then Auric has been spending a lot of time up front with you, just so you know.
Oh, Odysseus is also up front. Or if there's enough room.
15.
No.
So you don't really know what that was. But do you guys look back, like, in the cart?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because everyone else in the cart would see this. Basically, as you guys are going through this...
in the car, by the way. She would not be going with the party.
Yeah. You guys are still in the cart. You guys are still getting to the place. Because this is just kind of like, you guys are still, like, a decent ways away, but you can just see the house and the people. But this thing that the cart went through, it felt kind of weird and kind of gross, as if the magic was off somehow. But if you guys look back, and those in the cart can see this, Bluma kind of looks a little bit weird now.
What kind
Does
of
she
like,
look like a golden dragonborn?
No, it kind of looks like this magic has clung to her.
What's going
magic.
on? Just look. Does is it have like a visual effect on her?
Yes, like Bluma herself can see that like this magic has clung to her. It kind of is hard to describe, other than it just looks a bit funky. Like, it looks off, and you can't put your finger exactly why.
Detect magic?
Bluma shoots a fireball to the sky.
It does not do anything. And Bluma, like, your magic dies in your hand, but Bluma, as you do this, you feel the ground underneath you give way. And if you try to fly, your wings feel like they're stuck to your back.
Oh.
And you fall straight into the portal.
I want to say this would try to catch her.
Yeah, no, you get nothing. And then, Nihilus, a couple seconds later, you suddenly are face to face with a golden dragonborn.
We're doing that now. Oh, then you have to make a dexterity check because if you remember from his session,
yes.
Riley was flying with the speed of a wyvern.
No, she was on the ground. I tried to nail this in your head. She was on the ground.
All right.
She was in fact on the ground.
But because you were falling, yes, you'll have to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, that kind of boy.
It's funny because she's falling in a cart. So, like, if she fails, she just rolls out the back.
Also, she's probably gonna hit Nihilus because Nihilus is lunged to try to grab Bluma.
Oh yeah.
It would be funny if she fell straight through the cart.
It would have been.
But
what did he roll?
Should I roll dexterity?
You have to roll dex, man.
Yes, you also have to roll dexterity because now there's a dragonborn.
I have a -2 to dexterity saving throws now. Let's go.
Yeah, because you have -2 permanently. Woo!
For now, let's go.
Also, anybody in the car will also have to make a saving throw, no? I mean, she is like 6 feet tall on her tail. It's quite the biggest part of her body.
Yeah.
It's mainly because Nihilus is really the only one that went closer to it.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, that's an 8. Oh shit. Here we go.
Can I describe it?
What?
I want to describe what happens.
Sure, you can do it.
Riley's going down, like jumping from the sky down. Quick question. How is it like? How is it she's being like sent there? Just quick question. Now. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. Sorry. I was zoned out.
The question was basically, is she falling from the sky, from the side?
So she is falling, like, basically not from the sky, but, like, she's falling straight down from the cart. Like, so in the cart, there's now just a portal opened up, and she is falling from it.
Okay, so she's actually kind of falling up in a way.
Yeah.
What happens with Nihilus?
You get a face full of dragon.
Nihilus is under her.
Oh, shit.
Did you say, what did you say?
Face full of dragon tits. Great way to die.
That's what I thought I heard. I just wanted to be sure.
Nihilus just pushes her off of him. It's like,
one of the best ways to die.
Oh my god, Silver.
What the? Bro.
Silver, get the fuck out.
Get out of my eardrums.
Please.
I'm not
ASMR.
I'm literally like a foot away from the mic.
I know, but we weren't expecting it.
anyway, Nihilus just pushes Riley off of him. Not off the cart, but just off of him. It's like, that. Okay, then.
I see. As Nihilus tries to, or can try to pull off Riley, she rubs her head on her chest though on his face. She looks down, seeing that's what happened, and then she kind of, aided by his push, she kind of backflips off the cart.
Can you describe Riley for the audience, at least?
Riley is a 6-foot gold dragonborn with kind of orange circular patterns on occasion on her arms and thighs, with a white scales from the middle of her chest down to her legs. She has not like many dragonborn, she has a very, very huge tail. Compared to her size, it's nearly double her size when it comes to her tail.
Anyways, he just looks at her, is like, let me guess. Dimensional shenanigans bullshit or whatever.
Where am I?
At you one. Congratulations. You're in a shithole. Well, actually, not really.
I'm sorry, but I'm not. I don't know this area that you're talking about.
Oh, wait. You are a gold dragonborn. Don, who was here before?
Can someone else explain it? Because
wait. I remember. Soteria. Mr. Soteria. He had that gold dragonborn plushie.
Hey, you know Soteria?
Yes. So, like I had previously explained to Mr. Soteria, you seem to have been teleported here magically by some thing. I'm not really sure what, honestly. But you are in Atuan. It is an entirely different dimension from what I believe he called your dimension, Dova?
I think I need some time to wrap my head around this, but so basically what happened with Soteria is happened to me right now.
That would seem to be the case, yes.
Also, from what I was wasn't Astral there at some point?
I was indeed there for a brief time.
Oh yeah, the unicorn ring.
Hello again, Riley. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, it has. You wouldn't believe what the stuff that happened after you were gone.
Well, knowing Dova, I can only assume it was not good.
Oh yeah, I saw my parents got ripped apart. It was a
That would
nightmare, but
definitely qualify as not good.
yeah, good thing was
That's
just a
definitely
nightmare.
not good.
Also, I want to say, Nyla seems like he realizes something. Oh shit, Bloom is with them. Ah shit.
They can deal
you'll be
with
fine.
Bloom once.
They can deal with Bluma. No offense, Nihilus. It might be better if she's not here.
Honestly, she purposely wanted to avoid it. So
either way.
And Cruelty, like you guys see Cruelty kind of like pop out of the jar and just say, I mean, she got her excuse.
yeah, at least
Well, you know, being in an entirely different dimension is a pretty good excuse in my book.
Honestly, yeah.
Listen,
Honestly,
that just raises the chance of this not ending with an explosion.
And I'm so happy about it personally.
Didn't you set fire to the barn?
Wait, how do you
What are you talking about? What are you guys talking about? You said Bluma and explosions?
She's a fairy. Very volatile fairy. She's nice.
Volatile.
Sometimes. But very volatile.
No offense, Nihilus. Is she ever nice?
You don't know her like I do. But then again, you're entitled to your own opinion, and I'm not going to change it.
I just hope it doesn't cause problems for Soteria. You cannot hold
Soap set the barn on fire. Oh my god. I fucking love that little interaction we had in out of session is now canon. Like that whole
Set
thing.
it on fire twice.
Oh,
Anyway,
God.
let's not interrupt people.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't even hear him talking. My bad.
Missed.
So, I can be here for a while then?
For
a week
at tops.
Yes, as they were saying, I was in your world for roughly a week, so I assume Bluma will be in that world for roughly the same amount of time.
Oh, thank the ancestors we don't have to deal with her for about a week.
And so Astro's like, okay. Now that's not necessarily fair to talk about someone when they're not here to defend themselves.
To be fair, I think it's completely fair, but I am also the entire embodiment of cruelty itself, so.
Also,
maybe my opinion doesn't
I think it's fair. I think it's fair, considering what I heard when Idris fell. So, no offense, Astral, obviously. But I believe she deserves a little cruelty.
Meanwhile, Nihilus didn't keep trying not to say his own opinion.
Fair enough.
She puts her when she puts her hands on her side and just kind of looks at the party. So, what's going on here?
Funeral.
We're going to a funeral.
Oh. And I must have came at a very bad time.
Unfortunately.
Should I stay here while you guys do your thing?
Yeah, that would be appreciated. At least, thank you.
Alright. I'll be waiting then.
Also, by the way, my name's Nihilus.
Oh, we should probably introduce ourselves. You're right, Nihilus. I am Zenith, and this is my son.
Heyo, I'm Auric.
And here's my son.
Alright, goes to Auric and just gives him a head pat. Nice to meet you, Auric.
Zenith seems to jump for a second, like he's getting ready to attack, then realizes Auric is sort of smiling, and goes,
"Oh, thank you very much. It's nice to meet you too, Miss Riley."
And of course, you know me, Miss Relly. So,
nice to meet you again. So,
of course,
it's upstairs as well, no?
say again.
I look at it. Soap is there, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Soap is there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's just only a few people introduce themselves. So I was wondering if anybody else was going to talk.
Sopas, he keeps if anyone were to look at Sopas, he keeps zoning out. Like he'd be paying attention, but the next second his stare just gets like really dead straight. Like you can tell he's zoned out and not paying attention.
He's got the 1,000-yard stare.
Cruelty just kind of looks to Soaps before looking back to Riley, and he says, "This is Soaps. I am Cruelty. Forgive him. He's in mourning for his father."
Yes,
nice
that-
to meet you as well, Cruelty.
That is the funeral we are going to attend. So it is not a very fun day for any of us.
Nope.
I mean, there's not much I could do, to be honest with you.
Well, we're not saying that you are not allowed to come because that would be rude. But it is, I mean, you wouldn't have nothing to do there, so the invitation is extended, but you are welcome to refuse it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much for your kindness.
Fucking Eli, stop it!
What's Eli doing?
You're just posting memes in the chat.
People,
Memes about Idris dying.
Hey, stop it. Spray bottle, stop it. Anyway, miss, continue.
You don't mind if I help out with the funeral, like maybe being part of the team that will cook anything? I mean, I'm not sure how we there. It'll just be kind of a very odd personnel.
So Astro says, well, this is a weird question, but did we consider catering for the funeral? I mean, like, at this point, it seems kind of rude. Like, because like,
I'm sure Karis has it planned, and plus, my dear Dragonborn friend, acquaintance, you won't stick out. Idris was old, and he knew many people. Honestly, if you just sit there and be respectful, no one will question why you're there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
He's right.
Okay. I'll come with you.
Very well.
Quick question. You guys mentioned that Soteria had a golden dragon plushie. Did he still keep it with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he took it with him everywhere he went until he got really scary back in that cave.
He went really serious. He just yelled at us because we were arguing. Frankly, I feel like we shouldn't have done, but it happens.
Honestly, I think all of you arguing is quite amusing.
Well, you can go suck a dick.
I will put you back in the jar.
Nihilus, please.
I mean, that is gladly an invitation, but
I'd rather you not.
I feel like this is not the time and place.
Of course. Okay, so I had to join the session late. So are we actually at the funeral, or are we going?
Yes.
We're
on our way.
You did not join the session late.
I had to take my headphones off because I had to go do something real quick, so I didn't really hear anything.
That's right. You guys are currently approaching the funeral.
Okay, I didn't know if we were still heading that direction. Okay. And we stopped because of Riley, because she jumped out of the cart.
Yes.
All right.
Actually, Nihilus then says, "Oh, by the way," he points at Calypso. That's Calypso.
Is Calypso like a horse form or that
horse form?
Horse form.
He's just a horse.
Alright.
I don't know what you're talking about. Nothing weird about her.
Oh, speaking of Calypso,
And Oric walks up to Calypso, like, sort of happily, like, sort of jauntily, and gives her sugar cubes.
Astral's sweating in the ground.
I also realized Mist has speak with animals.
Also, Riley will see
Astral.
Astral because she has a passive perception of 15. So anything trident, she will obviously see that.
I mean, like he's not really hiding it, but like it seems like he's nervous when he sees the fucking sugar cubes. Like,
you okay? You okay, Astral?
So, Zenith, who has a passive of like 23, probably sees it, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you can't really tell.
I would like to
okay, all right. Fucking
insight on the pony.
Making me pull up my.
There is no secret.
We are getting distracted. We're supposed to be going to a funeral, and we're inciting the horse because of sugar cubes.
I mean, you guys are questioning him about his previous life,
and it's really fucking funny.
Okay, I gotta find this. I hardly ever use this computer, so I gotta find my sheet on it in a second.
Yep, that's a passive of 23. Of insight as well. So that's
passive insight. Okay. I guess I'll just roll deception. Oh, that's garbage. Okay. Here we go.
Because you have like an addiction.
This party's great.
I bet you're loving this, Max. But you're just and cannot get enough of this.
Listen, as long as you guys don't interrupt each other, y'all can do whatever you want within reason.
I would like to blow up the house.
You immediately start interrupting each other.
Kind of.
That is a natural 20.
Yeah, no, y'all can't see anything wrong with Silver's character. Astral is the god of hiding shit.
Hey, Max. Lucky.
No, we have to move on.
I know.
Yeah.
Listen, if once we
there's a funeral about to happen.
Once we start doing D&D, like once like the people who are going to do D&D in person start doing D&D in person, I will have a spray bottle.
No, I know. I was only teasing. I wouldn't
spray bottle.
seriously.
I will give you a spray bottle.
Casey, do you want to be my helper to spray people who?
No,
I mean, I'm a cosmetologist, so I do have spray bottles
Yeah,
on me.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, so
you're really trying to push this dog thing on me.
Astral just says, "Well, anyway, Miss Riley, it is time we move on. The funeral is just right over there, so I believe it is time we go pay our respects."
Okay, don't mind me going on Calypso one because I will get into that card due to she looks to her tail as it kind of moves to the side. A part of me is a bit too large for many paces.
Very well, I'm sure Calypso won't mind.
So it's a very large horse.
She's a very big horse.
Riley can speak with animals to Calypso. It's like, it's right with you.
Sorry.
What'd you ask, or what'd you say, Mist? Sorry.
Is it right with you if I invite you, Calypso?
And Calypso looks to you and says, she looks to you and simply, kind of looks you up and down and says, "Sure, why not?"
Thank you. And she kind of gets on the horse, and that's it.
Riley, I will say, this horse is big for you, even as, a person who is 6 foot. This horse is absolutely fucking huge.
Big.
A unit.
Unit. Huge with a capital big.
Yeah.
Big girl.
Chunk is huge.
So the biggest horse in the world was 22 hands.
So I can imagine it's like a 2 shires
Calypso is
stacked on top of each
24.
other.
Calypso is
my
24
God.
hands.
24
What's like the
wow.
biggest horse breed ever? We could just make her that, but plus size.
I think it's like a shire.
I don't know horses.
I think I don't know. I forget what it's called. My sister is obsessed with them, so I know it.
It's
yeah, it's
Clydesdale,
Clydesdale. It's Clydesdale.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so 24 is 8 feet.
Wow.
Oh,
And
damn.
she's barely taller than how long she is.
Give me a moment.
Is that like from like tip of ear to like hoofs or like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I took that horizontally.
Bro.
Can you imagine if the horse was 8 feet long? Oh my God, that horse would be so fast.
Oh God! Imagine the reach up with those legs. Imagine that running. Holy shit! It can fit so many people on it too.
That's like, for people who don't know, for people who don't do the foot system, the U.S. system, it is like 243 centimeters or a little over 2 meters. I don't know
like
when you fuckers you. Anyway.
A little over 2 meters, then it wouldn't be that large already.
Well, it's a big horse though.
Biggest
a big horse.
She
Well,
ate
I mean-
her. It's
Yeah.
All right, Karen, I'm just gonna say that as of writing, Wright would have at least saved some of those sweets that she made for the party, for the breakfast from the other session.
Yeah, sure.
And she pulled one out from her bag of holdings that are on her tail. And like as they ran, she's just waiting and just eating them.
Okay, and you guys are pretty much at the house now. Do any of you get off to go to the funeral?
Yes.
Zenith and Oric do.
Yep.
Yes.
Odysseus
I do want to
does.
say when they would pull up, Zill and a friend would be on the porch waiting for them to like greet them because she knew the party was coming sometime today. So like she would see the cart and she would be on the porch, as well as there's a little crow on her shoulder.
Aww.
Eli.
I'll send a photo of the crow because there's something
It
wrong
says
with it, but,
nevermore. I know it's a raven,
would you like to describe your character?
Yes, I would absolutely love to. So, when everyone got off of the cart, they would notice quite a difference between Zill and this character, and they are an 8-foot tall tiefling. And I gotta get his photo too, because I have to look at it. And something that would be very
like
noticeable is... Yeah. And they would also notice immediately that he has 4 bright blue eyes. Like, there is no pupil or anything. They are just completely a super bright blue, and he's this dark purplish blue skinned tiefling. And he has very long black hair, and he seems to be hiding behind Zill. And he has this, like, little tail that has, like, an ace, like, a spear tip type of sense, and it has a purple cap on it. Like, it's covered in like what seems to be like a bright plastic purple, like thimble in a sense. And he is sitting behind Zill and just holding her hand from behind. And I sent his photo to D&D character pictures as well.
I'm sorry. Hot?
Do
Do
not.
not.
Do not.
Do not.
He's a child.
No, he's a child. But the picture,
not.
I've seen that picture in other contexts.
That's fair.
That is a child.
And we
I
would
know.
not correct it.
I know that's a child. I did not mean for that to sound how it did. That is. Fuck you
Just
guys.
stop.
Yeah.
I need to shut up.
You
Yes,
do.
you
Yeah,
do.
you do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Just mute yourself. That's what I do.
Wait,
So
that's
I
a child?
say dumb
Wait,
shit.
what?
Yes,
What
he's
the
a
fuck is
child.
happening? AP, huh?
I have a question.
Yes.
Would I recognize him or no?
No.
Okay.
I don't know. Sopes, he'd see Zill and person's name, who I won't say, but he'd just give like a really small and sad wave, basically.
So when he did that one character, not gonna say his name either yet. He would notice Sopes on the cart, and you would see him like brighten up a little bit, and like his stance would have been like slightly slouched, but it would straighten up more, and he'd seem to have like a very happy smile and just kind of wave back as his tail would be wagging behind him and very obviously, showing off that little thimble he has.
I'm sorry, he's so cute.
So that would cheer Sopes up. He'd return that simple smile.
Zill would walk off the porch towards the cart with obviously Kree behind her, most likely. Oh, well, it's fine.
Kree's not
Well,
leaving the porch.
Well, listen, I was gonna wait until Zill introduced him, but it's fine.
It's okay. Don't worry.
But yeah, she would walk towards the group.
What would also happen is Sopes would probably be one of the first ones down. Like, he'd approach Zill, and if allowed, he wouldn't like speak loudly. He would just say, "Bloom is not here right now. Dimensional travel stuff."
They would just nod in response.
Right, we'll look at Zill and the other character and just like she just waves with a smile.
I feel bad for doing this, but I would like to say this character would notice Riley doing that, and he would seem happy, but his smile would fade a little bit, and he would seemingly hide behind Zill even more, which was again he can't hide behind her. He's too tall for that. But he'd be trying to.
He's trying.
He's
trying.
Riley will give a giggle from the side as they can reminds her of Soteria.
He has a point, though.
Yeah, very, very similar in attitude right now. That's funny.
It's really funny. I've had this character planned for so long.
It's also most likely they're both can easily murder a person within like 6 seconds, but we're not going to talk about that.
Big babies.
Yeah. Big baby.
Big
My carcass.
Carcass is a different story.
But do any of you guys kind of look around at the people there?
Yes.
Zenith would be.
Wait, actually,
Yeah.
do I see
Yes.
Savos?
Yes, does. Yes.
So you guys see a lot of people, and some of you, a couple of you see a couple of you see and recognize a Croza, as well as you're just looking about the crowds, and one of you roll a perception check real quick.
I'll do it.
Oh, I know who it
Active of
is.
28.
I think I know who it is.
I do.
I'm positive I know who it is, so Max, do I still need to roll anything?
Yes.
Fuck.
That's a 10.
Could I use
Is it who I think it is?
Max
Probably
only did say one of us, so I'm not gonna ask again.
I got a 21.
And then the scorpion. He's gone.
Okay. So, Levi,
I'm fixing
Soaps,
it. Oh, sorry.
As you guys are looking around the crowd, you swear to God you see a dog folk. Like another dog you've never seen before.
Oh.
Excuse me?
But the second that you see them, they're gone.
I got a question. Does Nihilus see Sabas in the crowd? Or is he not there?
You don't see him, but that doesn't mean he's not there.
That's true. Nihilus probably might look for him later.
Sopez, did you see that?
I don't know. I don't exactly know what I can trust.
Understandable. Hey, I know I've said it already, but I am sorry for your loss.
And thank you. I greatly appreciate it.
Alright, I will keep an eye out for our sakes, just in case, but if you need anything, I'm a yell away. Sorry.
And Zenith is going to walk back over to Auric.
Zill is going to turn to address like the entire party, and she's going to just go, well, welcome to our home. The funeral will be starting within the next like 20 minutes, I guess. If you can find a seat, good luck. She kind of like looks over at the crowd. Tara's trying to prepare for as many people, but Idris affected a lot of people in his lifetime.
Got it. Miss L.
Understood.
Very well, Zin.
Wait, this is Idris's house, right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. I'm sorry. I'm like half out of it right now.
You're okay.
This is our home.
Yeah.
This
I
is
would also
home.
like to say that Kree would have ended up letting go of Zill's hand and like he would have glanced over the group, but he would have actually ended up leaving to what everyone would know would be a Croza, because he would go over to a Croza after very quickly leaving the group without saying anything to them. He kind of panicking.
Oh, there he goes. There he goes.
So like the house. Okay, I know there's just like questions. I'm sorry.
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
The house. We can go inside the house, right?
Yes.
Okay. Would Odysseus be able to go inside the house to see if some of his old like books that he used to read is in there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Before he does that, I do want Zill to address Soaps and Odysseus first.
Okay.
Just before you do that. Well, it's okay. So it's like she addressed the party, telling them like where the funeral was happening and everything. I paused because obviously I want to get everyone's response and if anyone said anything. But after that, she would turn and you could tell like she's directly talking to Sopas and Odysseus with this, and then she goes, "After the funeral, there's going to be a private burial for the family. So if you guys wish to come to that."
Odysseus looks at her and says, I don't think I should go.
You do not have to, but Idris considered you his son, so you are invited. It's just
You are more
Idris
than welcome.
knew so many people, we just want to keep the burial
Tear
more
up!
intimate.
He starts to tear up. Like, honestly, I didn't think he considered me. Maybe I will show. Who knows?
The Astral speaks up and he says, "You said we are all invited, Miss Sil? I mean, I would not want to impose if it's just a family thing."
Everyone is invited to the funeral, but I do not mean to sound rude, but for the burial, I was just directly inviting Sopes and Odysseus. It's just keeping it small for that part.
Very well.
That's fine.
I want to cry.
That is understandable. Oh, that is the wrong voice.
Sorry.
That is understandable, Miss Sil.
If anyone was watching Zill, they would see that her hand seems to be like kind of shaking a bit, and it's like she grabs it with her other hand as well as a way of like it would appear to be like she's trying to hide that her hands are shaking before she would like turn away from the party and just look over at the crowds.
It's a sad day. I'm sad.
Does she seem sad? Well, obviously she was. Sorry.
Well, she seems like calm, but not calm. Like, she seems pun not intended for players who understand the pun. She seems very like void of emotions.
Kirsten.
It's just the best word, okay? But like,
That's a good way to do it, though.
She seems like not like a positive calm. It just seems like she's not feeling anything. It appears it's like an eerie calm. Seems to be like across her entire body, including most of her body language. As well as, I would like to clarify, the last time you guys saw her, she was still half in her second form. Like, kind of crazy. She is now completely humanoid looking again. Like, all of her wings are put away, all of the, like, ink is faded from her skin. She looks 100% human once again.
And Astral speaks up and he says, "Perhaps we should find somewhere to sit before there's nowhere else to sit."
Yes, Miss Sill, can I speak with you for a moment?
She is going to nod, and then I'm assuming they're just gonna walk a few feet away from the party, just so they
yes,
kind of half out of hearing, you know.
Yes. So like Auric would wait for Zill to begin to walk off, and after she would, Auric would follow. And he would, with a sort of somber tone, he clears his throat. Miss Sill, I did want to say I'm very sorry about Idris. I know that my words may not be of any value, but I am truly sorry that we lost such a good person in this world.
Zill seems to just kind of look at him for a second, and Auric would see it doesn't look like her facial features or like facial expression has changed at all, but he would see like tears start to rim her eye just for like half a second before quickly like they're blinked away, and she just goes, "Thank you, Auric. I appreciate that."
And I know this may seem inappropriate for the time, but
and Auric, like, he brings out a small box from his pocket.
Zenith and I made something for Idris, and we were planning on giving it to him after the Valkyries. So instead we wanted to give it to you.
And Auric is starting to tear up, as he's giving you this small wooden box.
Zill opens the box.
In the box is a small painted figure with small moss buds around it of a black rose.
I'm okay, it's fine.
Got me acting up over here.
I'm sorry, I'm starting to tear up.
We're all getting IRL emotional.
Genuine moment.
No, it's fine. Zill would kind of look at it. She would look at it, and she would genuinely tear up this time, as it seems like silently, like a single tear would seem to like escape before she would quickly wipe it away and wipe like all her tears away, and then she would just close, like she would like put the lid back over the box and just look at Auric, and she seems a bit speechless before she mumbles out a like quiet thank you.
Auric does give a small nod and says, "Again, Miss Sill, I'm very sorry, and I know this gift does not make up for what happened, but I hope that going on we all can mourn together. And Zill, I would like to say on your, you can feel a little movement on your flower crown that Auric had previously given you. And now, beside some of the daisies and the like the yellow themed, there are a few. God, it hurts me to say this. There are a few red spider lilies forming. And Auric walks away to walk back to Zenith, who sort of picks Auric up, looks at Zill, and gives her a somber nod, and he walks away to join the party.
The party would notice Zill would stay there for a moment. You can tell, like, anyone looking over could tell that she's just kind of staring off in the distance a little bit.
So roll a check.
Who, me?
Yes.
Oh.
What kind of check?
My perception?
Nothing better be happening.
Oh, I think you said a wisdom. I'm like, oh no.
Lex,
nothing
better be
25.
happening.
So
you think we're gonna get to mourn without chaos? No.
No.
As you are looking in this distance, you see a familiar hooded figure. A hooded figure that you saw tucked in a corner of Nightfall. Or tucked in a corner in the tavern at Nightfall. You see Idris's goddaughter.
Oh.
Who?
And, Kirsten,
does she? Yeah, I do. Shut the fuck up. Does she notice me noticing her? Like, is there like a?
She's not looking towards you. She is on the outskirts of the people at this funeral, just kind of trying to keep to herself while also seemingly trying to pay her respects.
I walk towards her. I want to walk towards her.
Sure.
Also, could you DM me her name? Because I forget her name. I'm blanking really badly.
Yeah,
her name's Serana. Because you just mentioned that he's said it out loud multiple times.
Okay. Well, yeah. I know Zill knows it. It's just Kirsten forgets. Zill is, she would most likely hear me coming, because Zill isn't trying to sneak up on her. She is being quiet. But, she would probably hear Zill walking up to her, and she just quietly goes, Serana, it's nice to see you again.
And Serana looks up to you, and she kind of like seems to bring her cloak kind of like closer onto herself. And she just looks back down to the ground and says, it's nice to see you too. I wish it was under better circumstances.
As do I, but it's good to see you either way. We always wished you would visit more.
And she kind of goes silent. It seems like there's a lot on her mind. It seems like she does not... It's not like she doesn't want to be there, but it seems like if people figured out who she was, that she would not be welcome.
Yeah. After this, Zill would pause for a moment before she continues, and she just goes, I'm sorry, that was not meant to sound guilt-tripping, if that's how it sounded. It was just a passing comment. We understood why you never could.
And she looks back up to you, Zill, and says, you're fine, it wasn't... I guess now you know why I really couldn't.
Yeah. Something
And
about this family.
She looks to you, Zil, and she looks to you and just says, I should go before word gets out that I'm gone.
At this,
I know
Zil nods.
you. And like she says, I doubt that you would want to see him again this soon.
At this, Zil kind of freezes a little before, like, calming herself once more and just nodding. Admittedly, that might be best.
And she simply nods and walks away.
After she walks away, Zil would make her way back over to the party.
And Zil...
Before this happened, can I do something really quick?
Yes,
but before
yes,
she makes her way to the party.
Yeah.
All right. So, Zil, you are, I wouldn't say you're stopped, but you kind of feel like something tap your shoulder. Like a few times.
Zil would physically flinch away from whatever touch it is and turn to look at it.
So, when you turn to look at it, you don't see anything, but then you look down, and you see what looks to be a hooded figure. Roughly the same size as and slowly the hood pulls back, and you see a dark green pony with light brown hair. And you hear her say, I know I'm not the first to say this, but I am very sorry for your loss. I knew Idris well, and he was a great warrior.
Zil would just nod. It's like a nod of like, thank you, kind of.
And by the way, if Sopaz was looking in this direction, he would instantly recognize who this is.
I was gonna say, wouldn't he recognize who that is?
Yeah. He says, my name is Grave Watcher, and I was a part of the party that Sopaz keeps talking about. And we met Idris on several occasions. I hope you know that
Idris's goddaughter is in it.
Yes. He's wherever he is now. And I know the whole thing with that guy, that took the soul thing. If I could offer my help, I would.
Zill's just kind of looking at him. Like, she's wanting to say something, but you can tell, like, she's biting her tongue.
He says, I know it's not my place to say any of this, but I figured it would be better said than unsaid. He says, I wish you well. And he puts the hood back up, and he turns and just walks further into the crowd.
No offense, like 90% of people who knew Idris comes in cloaked. Doesn't want to draw attention.
Oh yeah. Like, out of character, Idris knew, like, everyone Idris knew are low-key sus as fuck. Like, half the people there are in cloaks, like, no one recognized me. Like, what do you mean? I wouldn't be surprised if Terrace set up a cloaking spell so no one could recognize each other. Like,
probably.
That's how sus the people here are. Unless you already know them.
I don't know
Also,
if Zill would know him. I doubt it. So.
She knows of him. She knows who he is. For multiple reasons. So.
I just want
They
to
just
let
never
you guys
met.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Sorry.
I just want to let you guys know I am working on some art that might make you cry, Kirsten. Specifically you.
Is it based off of the meme I sent a while ago in the group chat?
No.
Okay. Because I sent the dying meme.
It might be Zill.
Listen,
with
the
some
meme
spider lilies.
Oh, guys, I hate you.
You
I
have
was
to
only putting it there for the cinematic stuff.
I know, but I'm gonna cry.
Ooh, maybe I could write a song for
Snippet
this.
of it?
Yes, write a song from it.
You want to see a little snippet of it?
Yes.
It's not
But
fully
yeah,
done.
after that interaction, Zill would just turn and make her way back to the party.
Anyway, back at the party. Do you guys like go to talk to anyone?
Actually, what I do want to try to find is kind of like half looking for Savos because Nyla's kind of remembered that Savos and Aegis knew each other.
Roll a perception check.
Let's go.
Oric would be trying to talk to people as well, just like trying to understand more about Idris.
Okay. But you know.
Be by herself, like in a far off a corner.
That's a
Just reading what her own person knows. She's trying to avoid the whole situation there, because she has no connection to anybody, other than a small connection with Astro due to her one experience with him, like her one time with him through the week. But she's just keeping to herself.
Okay. But Nihilus, did you roll your perception? Yes, you did.
12.
I'm just gonna give it to you. So you see Savos talking to what looks to be a white tiefling. A white pirate-esque tiefling.
Nihilus is gonna wait from a distance, but he's gonna let him finish that conversation.
It does not seem like a conversation they plan on finishing anytime soon.
Nihilus is just gonna somewhat shimmy away then because he doesn't want to interrupt that.
Okay.
But later he is planning to try to talk with Savos, but
Max, does Astro even know anyone here? I doubt it, but
Same thing.
Same thing with
No.
Oric.
I didn't think so. So.
Well, actually,
yeah.
there is someone you guys will all collectively know beside Akroza.
Is it who I think it is?
So Oric, as you're walking around and talking, you see that dogfolk again, and you see them more clearly now. And this is a fairly tall dogfolk, and they seem to be they look like a corgi or a Shiba Inu, more like a Shiba Inu. And they seem to have like a lot of traveling gear on them as well.
Oric's interested, so he's going to approach.
Okay.
Wait, question. Is she talking to Akroza?
No, she's not really talking to anyone. She's just kind of standing.
Okay.
But as you approach, this dogfolk seems to recognize you. And she walks up to you and she says, Oric. That is your name, is it?
Yes, my name is Oric.
My apologies. You won't recognize me like this. And she, you watch her kind of, flick her paws or hand. And as she does this, a tarot card appears in her fingers, between her fingers. And she is now a drow.
It's the hot tarot lady.
Wait a minute.
I don't actually
Why do you
believe
guys?
I caught your name.
Why do you think?
That's no what? Fair enough.
Why do you think Idris was so fucking concerned?
But she flicks the tarot card back around and she goes back into the dog folk form and she says, "My name is Lemkova. I have to obviously hide my form as dog folk are not that common anymore."
What? So Max, I hate to say this, but I as a player misunderstand that.
So she is basically saying that she has been hiding as a drow and is the fortune teller lady.
Okay, my brain did not pick that up. My brain picked it up like, did Max just misspeak? That's my bad.
No.
Sorry. And
No, you're fine.
Oric just goes, "Oh, that's actually really cool. That's actually really cool, Miss Lamkova."
But she smiles at you and she says, I wish I could have revealed this information under better circumstances, but
Yes. Keep going, Max. Sorry.
she just kind of she kind of speaks with her hands at that point and just kind of waves at her as she set off, or whatever she was going to say.
Oh yeah, and well, Oric continues it with, "Oh, yeah, I can understand. This being a," and Oric seems to shudder at the word, funeral. Anyway, if it's okay, may I ask you a little bit about what you knew about Mr. Idris?
Of course. And she walks you over to a bench, and sits down and motions for Oric to sit down next to her.
Oric does. He takes a seat, sort of gently, trying not to be too close.
She kind of moves her hands, and there's suddenly an illusion of a village, a miniature version of a village in front of them. And she says, "Idris and I grew up together, basically siblings."
Oh. Huh, that's really interesting.
We were like that until he decided that he needed to sail the seven seas. And she kind of laughs about that and shakes her head. He was always when he was younger, he was think first, or not really think first, do first, think later. That's how he met his wife. Because instead of actually joining a pirate crew, he was a stowaway.
Oh. Huh. That's not necessarily concerning. Sorry, go ahead.
She says, she continues, she says, his brother and I, we stayed behind. Akroza eventually became the champion of Lume, and I eventually became the leader of the emissary and embassy of the Titans.
Embassy of the Titans?
Yes.
I would ask further on that, but I, right now, would like to learn more about Idris. As greedy as that sounds.
That's completely understandable. He was a good man.
Very good.
But, they continue to talk about Idris, mostly just getting stories about Idris from when him and Lemkova were kids. But we are going to move on to someone else.
Oh,
I will just clarify for the viewers because I already said it in no mic. Zill's kind of a little bit she's near the party, but she's just kind of more so closer to the porch. So it's she's close enough to the party where they could talk to her, but she's not up close talking to them already. she is sitting on the porch, and she appears to be talking with the crow that's been chilling on her shoulder. And every once in a while, guys would see like it like nudge her in a way that seems like comforting, like it's like he's trying to comfort her.
I just realized what the crow is.
I'm sure you did not. Anyway.
He might have, because I've told some people about the character. Vaguely.
Odysseus comes out of the house holding a book, and he sees that Zil is she sitting down, or
Yeah, I would say she's sitting on the steps, like to one side.
Okay.
On the steps.
He walks up to her, to where she was sitting, and he was just like, this was my favorite book when I stayed here. I can't believe he still has it.
He was very sentimental for someone so emotionally stunted.
You could say that 10 times.
And you guys hear someone come up behind you and say, "Sentimental? I call him a hoarder." And it was like, it's very said in a jokingly tone, but if you guys look back, it is Terrace.
You might want to describe Terrace for the viewers.
I will get there!
Okay!
Zil would just look at Terrace and go, yeah, that too a little bit.
And, like, for those who don't know, Terrace is a purple 7-foot-tall tiefling who is, you know, a whore. Anyway,
a hot boy did it
right. He currently has some glasses on, and if anyone is to like,
he looks like, I need to see. Sorry.
He currently has some like gold rim, like wire glasses on, and it's clear. Like if anyone were to detect magic them, they'd immediately sense illusion magic. It's clear he's hiding whatever emotions he's feeling, or whatever sobbing that he was just doing.
I want to give him a wave. I just want to wave at him.
You
just
can
a
wave
small.
at him.
I want to wave at him.
Wait, would Kree be able to see Terrace?
Yes.
Okay, because what would have happened is that Kree was currently harassing a Croza because he couldn't find his, he couldn't find Terrace. So when he notices Terrace on like the porch, he would have kind of just fled from a Croza and like very heavily avoided any people that were around to kind of just hop up onto the porch and get behind Terrace.
And Terrace, he looks to Kree and he says, "I thought I told you to at least make one friend."
He doesn't say anything, but he gives Terrace a look that's just entirely of fear, and he's like, he just has the, what? That's just his facial reaction.
Hey, leave him alone. He smiled at someone new. I think that's big for him.
Would Odysseus know who this is?
No.
No? Okay. You could say that. Yep, definitely a hoarder.
Odysseus, this is my son, Kree.
Oh, so I can see it.
Can see it. All adopted.
All adopted.
All adopted.
Everyone's
all
adopted.
adopted.
But at the mention of Kree's name, he would he'd move closer to Terrace, kind of like he's behind him mostly, but like again, he's taller than his own dad, so it's really awkward to hide behind stuff when you're very tall. So he's kind of just like standing there, kind of like holding on to like his shirt a little bit, like a little kid who's holding on to their parents' shirt, trying not to get lost in the store.
So, how did you guys know Idris? Or am I missing something? Am I missing something?
What'd you say though?
Oh, did you guys not hear me?
I
heard
not.
you. I heard you.
Yeah,
Okay.
like,
At least.
Odysseus would know that Terrace is basically one of Idris' adopted kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're Yes, Terrace. I got
Yes.
that correct.
I am Terrace.
I think that There's so many people in this family tree that I have no clue.
Yeah.
Honestly, how did he keep track of it?
I'm not entirely sure.
Listen, I'm relatively new and I still don't even know probably half.
You don't know half, I don't know most of it.
Not fair enough.
Well,
I did leave, though. That is my fault.
Zill just
You
looks
guys-
between the 3 sons that Idris left her, and then looks back to the crow on her shoulder and just kind of sighs.
I hope she knows that Idris left her another kid as well.
I know! There's just this is just some of them.
They just aren't here.
And they just keep multiplying.
He keeps adopting kids and then dying. Like, what the fuck? Like, he adopted all
They
these
keep
kids.
multiplying, Kirsten.
Yeah, he adopted a bunch of kids with Zill, these are ours, and then died. Who the fuck does that?
Idris, apparently.
Like,
I mean, I go to Kirsten all the time and I'm like, hey, these are our kids now. And Kirsten's just like, what the fuck? But I just don't go off and die.
So true. At least you would have left me with them. Like,
I might.
Hey,
no?
look, it dies. No problem now. That is the best way to get out of child support. Just die. This is not the conversation to be having. I'm sorry. Please continue.
I'm sorry, I was about to say something. I was about to say something so out of pocket. Wait, I'm just gonna DM it in the group chat.
Oh my goodness. But yeah.
But Cree would just like kind of be holding on to Terrace, and like he'd whisper something to him, and if anyone would hear, like if like Odysseus, you would be close. Sopez and Zill would already know this, but it would sound like he's kind of like clicking, like he's making clicking noises in a sense, like the clickers from The Last of Us in a way, with how they click and hum in a sense. Odysseus would hear like partially a subtle hint like that. Like it's very quiet, but he would hear that, but Terrace would know that Cree is just explaining who he was, which is just being Idris's grandson. Because he is Terrace's son.
Wait! Can someone translate for me?
And like, Terrace sighs and says, I'm sorry, we're trying to work on his common. It's just a bit of a struggle.
His vocal cords aren't made for it. It's
a little tedious.
Complicated. He understands common though. So if you speak to him in it, he does understand what you're saying. He just struggles to say the words.
But like Terrace turns to Odysseus and says, Cree was just explaining that he is Idris's grandson.
Oh, so I'm an uncle! I'm an uncle!
I'd like to say when Odysseus bursts out like that, Cree kind of like hides behind Terrace more, if that were possible.
Oh,
He's a bit awkward.
He's shy. You're fine. He's
it
shy.
Takes a little. It takes a little.
I should have introduced myself. I apologize. I am Odysseus.
And like Cree.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Idris took me in after it's actually a pretty funny story. Which story did we go with? I'm sorry.
That
Odysseus conned him poorly.
I actually conned him. And it didn't go too well.
I believe I've heard that story before.
Did you at least get a good laugh out of it?
I did.
That's good. That's the point of stories.
But like he moves over to Soaps and says, "If you want to hear a funny story, you should ask this man." And he kind of like pats Soap's shoulder and says, "You should ask this man about the barn."
What did you do to the barn?
It wasn't. Oh.
To the barn.
Sopa's first time was an accident. Second time, that seems like a habit.
Listen,
Did you burn the barn?
Idris gave me some.
Twice.
We don't talk about the second time. Listen, Idris gave me some spells. I practiced. How was I supposed to know that one of them was Fireball?
Okay, honestly, I understand that. I just hope
someone gets me.
Okay, I just hope that maybe some of the things I buried back by there might still be there. Now I'm interested.
You're welcome to look.
What did he bury behind the barn?
I forgot to say this.
Bodies.
Kind of.
His hopes and dreams.
But
didn't need to burn down the barn.
He has stashes behind the barn that he buried for safekeeping.
Makes sense. I would also like to say that once Terrace walked away from Kree would just be standing there and like, instead of holding on to Terrace's shirt now because he walked away, Kree is like holding on to his tail, and again, like he's just holding on to it, but again, there's just like a cute little like plastic purple thimble on the tip of his tail, and he's just awkwardly messing with it.
I picked the color.
You picked the color? I think. Wait, did Sopes say that?
That was me out of character. That was me out of character.
It's canon. It's canon now. It was in character.
Canon now.
Okay.
Fine, it's in character. That was in character.
Okay. Odysseus looks at Sopes and says, "You should have put a black bow too."
Good idea. I'll have to try.
We should do that.
Maybe.
Hilarious.
Maybe. I don't recommend you doing it though. There's a reason that thing's there.
Oh.
And Terrace sighs and he says, "Don't traumatize my kid. That's your only rule."
We weren't planning anything.
Nothing was said about traumatization.
That kid is probably already traumatized more than me.
While you guys are doing this and doing your brotherly argues, you guys would just hear a, like, not exactly a chirp, but, like, a bird noise. That doesn't sound quite right. Like, it doesn't sound like a bird, but it's, like, kind of a bird. It just sounds wrong. Come from, like,
strangled?
No, just stop. But, like, it sounds like a mix between, like, a bird chirp and a weird gargle noise. Come from the crow on Zill's shoulder, and you see Zill just like not whip her head, but kind of like look at the crow and be like, "Can you not talk about your brothers like that? They're your brothers."
Hold on, I'm sorry, brothers? What?
Like, Terrace looks to the crow and says, "Care to share at the class?"
Yes, please.
I do not know if he will shift forms right now, but this crow is Corbin, my son.
Okay, what is with this family and not sharing things? Sorry for interrupting you, by the way.
You're fine. He is very busy. He never actually got to meet Idris. I asked him to come as, comfort.
I get that all too much.
He typically stays in his crow form most often. If he would shift back, she flicks him and quit being a little shit to his brothers, he could probably meet you guys.
Oh. Well, I'm with Zill on this.
The crow is like looking between you guys like, don't do this to me.
Come on.
Like, you guys kind of see, like, Cruelty peek over from Soap's shoulders and says, I mean, I can forcibly change him back.
Is that a good idea, though?
I'm with Cruelty on this. Don't get me wrong.
You guys would see the crow very dramatically, like, throw its head down like it would be sighing like a person, like, very dramatically, before he, like, hops off her shoulder onto the railing beside the, what's it called? Beside, like, the stairs, and he shifts back into, a humanoid form, pretty much. Where's character pictures? Because I'm gonna send it there and then describe it.
Kirsten, I would hate to interrupt you, but like I thought you were gonna say
or
hops down. He either one, but I thought you were gonna say he was gonna hop down into Zill's arms. So like if he has to shift back, his mother has to hold him.
It's so fucking funny. No, I'm gonna have him sit on the railing and shift back momentarily. And he would shift back, and you guys would see this man. And he just kind of, like, sits there. For character description, he has black hair and, like, really dark brown eyes. It would be about, like, 6'5", so he's, like, a little bit taller than Sopez if he were to be standing. I did send him with in-character pictures for players. Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna say it. Alright.
I'm fully aware. Can't flirt with your brother.
It looks like all of the siblings are emo.
And he just kind of like sighs and he just goes, Mom, I haven't seen you in like 200 years. Why are you like this? Also, since when do I have brothers?
200. He's almost. You. How old are you? How old?
Corbin looks up and he goes, I'm well into my 600s. Don't you worry about it.
No.
Tara's kind of like, I like.
Okay, come on. We need to round up the ages. We have to figure out who's the oldest.
Oh, I'm by far.
Terrace, like, he kind of like raises his finger and he says, "That'd be me."
Dang it!
I turned 2000 soon.
Holy shit! Okay.
Bill looks at Odysseus and she's just like, I'm not gonna tell you how old I am. Because the truth is
no.
I don't think there's a correct answer to that.
Honestly, I don't want to know.
Older than
So, that would
actually got cut off.
Oh, sorry.
Like, Terrace just says, like, he looks at Zill and says, like, he looks at Zill and Odysseus and says, she's older than Idris, give or take.
I am way older than Idris.
Better than being the youngest.
You're the
That's right, Soaps is the youngest.
Yeah, guys, he just got his immortality. Leave him alone. He hasn't had it for that long.
I'm 34.
He just got his immortality like 10 years ago. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
So, Soaps is the youngest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, is he... Can we bully him for that?
Corbin, like, leans over and, like, a totally not whispering, but, like, whispering tone of, fuck yeah, we're gonna bully the youngest.
I love that we're on the same wavelength.
This is out of character, but I like how you're fucking so bad.
He's the baby of the family.
I also would like to say, Kree would hear this, and he would very obviously, like, move in front of Sopez, like, wherever he's sitting, Kree is in front of him to block him from, Corbin and Odysseus. And he just, like, no. Like, he doesn't say it, but he's very obviously, like, no.
Oh, come on. It would be funny. I don't think you have... How old is the grandchild? Hold on. I have to... How old is he?
Do you want the answer to that question?
I don't know. Also, I do have another question.
And
what is with Idris and adopting whores?
I don't have the answer from that, but you should definitely see my partner.
I want to say throughout
Wait,
this
is
entire
he here?
thing,
Probably.
oh, I want to say like Zill.
Call him over.
Zill has put her head in her hands. Like the rest of the party who's off somewhere else can see this and family interacting on the porch, and Zill looks like a tired fucking mom. She looks like she has 3 toddlers she's babysitting right now.
But like, Terrace kind of like he looks to Soaps and says, "Actually, I don't think you're the youngest." Now that I think about it.
What?
Oh?
Idris did adopt someone fairly recently.
Would Sopez know about this? Because I know.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's right. What was their name?
Rovax. They showed up a couple days ago.
That's right. So I'm not the get fucked.
We're still going to bully you. I hope you know this. You are younger than us.
You know what? Fair enough.
I mean, obviously, but
with the team.
Rovax is too traumatized to be bullied.
Oh.
That's fair. As now, this is out of character, but Casey, in case you didn't know, this family tree is also bigger because Sopez has his own kids.
Yeah.
Isn't that how-
I will clarify. Corbin is the only surprised children from Zill's side. He is the only surprised child. She has no more guys. She's not Idris.
That's all Idris's fault.
I know. It is. But yeah. After the interaction, Corbin would switch back to his crow form and then go back to sitting on Zill's shoulder.
Wait, do all of the so all of the wait, does the youngest have immortality too?
He's I don't know. I mean, he was kind of frozen in time for a bit, but
So that would make Odysseus the only one without immortality. Another funeral, here we come.
I mean, I'm sure he can find it. I'm sure he'll find immortality at some point.
Yeah, also out of character, I'm sure Odysseus isn't the first child of Idris's that Idris would to die. So it's like I'm sure there was children in the past that Idris outlived. To be like, it sounds horrific, but I'm sure there is with how old Idris and Idris and Zill both are.
Them.
This is jokingly, but don't ignore the mass graveyard about like 2 miles from here. Just ignore that.
Ignore the family graveyard out behind the barn. The real reason we keep rebuilding the barn, to hide the graveyard.
Do I want to?
We don't talk about them.
Wait, I have a question for
Yes.
Eli.
What's your question? Oh, Eli.
Eli.
Hi.
Would Idris have kept like the little drawings Odysseus used to do of him?
Yes.
Yes!
Like, I'll be honest, Idris honestly has a room that was dedicated to, like, his drawings and, like, anyone else who gave him drawings. So, like, Odysseus more than likely would have found the room when he was going to get the book.
Okay.
But, like, he could obviously try to open the door, but it'd be stuck a little bit. Like, you know how old houses kind of, like, have those doors? Odysseus would remember that he has to, like, forcibly open it sometime.
Wait, would the other siblings' drawings be in there?
Every child would be in there. Like, every drawing he got from people would be in there. Especially his own, too.
Time to bully people. Time to be the menace he was born to be.
Oh, listen, I'm about to be a menace real quick if Max answers my DM.
Glad you DM'd me?
I did.
Odysseus looks at the other, 2 siblings of sons of Idris's, his siblings, and he's like, so, would you 2 happen to have, anything in the art room? He says this with a very menacing smile.
They also would know what the art room is.
What's so?
I don't think Sopez would because he was adopted as an adult.
Yeah,
I mean, he
and
can
it's
still
also
draw.
that. And what he does draw, though, it's like glyphs and runes that he keeps. So
Yeah.
he probably wouldn't have anything in there.
What did everyone go quiet?
Sorry, I was looking for something. But where the fuck did that go? How did I lose it?
Max, would the thingy be like a funny deck save, by the way?
Yes.
Okay.
Odysseus, do you walk? Do you move your legs at all?
Yes.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
What? Why?
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Hold on, I have
Also,
to get my
look in
sheet
the
out.
brothers
family
are
group
shit.
chat.
It's
Oh no! Wait, I gotta get my sheet up.
You're about to find the very shitty people part of the family.
Oh no! Oh no! I don't like this part of the family. So Dex. Hold on. I'm sorry. My art tablet keeps.
No, you're fine.
So it's plus. Where is it? Hold on, I gotta find the thingy. Where's the thingy? How do I do this again? I need to memorize it. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find the thingy of how to do it. Oh, my art tablet just shit itself.
That's funny.
Also, while this is happening, like, the rest of the party would see this, so
funny.
it's really funny.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, that's why I said earlier. It's like the rest of the party is walking around, like they're outside on the porch. Everyone can see this happening.
Yeah.
Everyone can. They can
Okay, I
comment
got
or not.
20. I got 20.
Would a dirty 20 succeed, Max?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes!
So, what would basically happen is you would have felt like an invisible foot try to trick you as you walk. And after, you would just hear two different voices of laughing.
Alright. Who did it?
Isaac, your mic
Your
is
mic,
muting itself.
Isaac, your mic.
You're dead, man. You're dead.
So I've just casually been eating popcorn this entire time.
I've been drunk
Yeah.
the entire time.
Meanwhile,
I
I'm
just
just playing.
Fallout.
Is it better?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so Sopes would have, like, as Odysseus says that, he would have, like, gave, like, a really annoyed sigh and say, that would be my kids this time.
I'm sorry, does every son in this family have children except me? What is going on? What?
Well, it's not like I exactly had a choice. If I took one, I had to take the other. They're twins. Annoying.
Oh yes.
They're technically. Odysseus, you said you tried to con Idris, right?
Yes.
I guess you'll have something in common with the twins.
Oh, are they like me?
Kinda. That's kinda how I stumbled upon them. They tried to
You know
steal
what?
from me.
I might adopt your children instead.
That is
Wait,
not
I'm your
allowed.
uncle. I can do that anyways.
Yes. Do not steal my children. Honestly, I don't even know if you could, considering the reputation you've gotten.
Oh, what reputation? I might need to write some of my greatest tricks down.
Max.
Odysseus, they are literally referred to as gods of like mischief. They aren't actual gods, but people think they are.
They've somehow convinced everyone that they are gods, but they're actually not.
Oh.
So, good luck trying to catch them before they catch you.
Is that a challenge?
Yes.
I don't know how to feel about that challenge. Oh, what should I say? Have I ever backed down on a challenge is the question. You know what? I accept that challenge.
And, Odysseus, what happens is, let me think. What happens is you see like just a piece of paper fly right in front of you, and what it says is, "Do you accept?" That's all it says.
I accept this challenge.
And then another little paper falls and says,
"You're gay."
Try to try to survive. Then that's all it says.
This is my kind of game.
But basically, this is out of character now, Casey. What I'm going to do now is every session you're going to get a random quote unquote prank is going to be pulled on you.
I love that. I love that.
So that's what's going to happen. But so after then, so just going to give a sigh and say, "Yeah, good luck. They're a handful."
Now this is how to make a funeral. Underline the fun part. A funeral.
Idris wouldn't have wanted his funeral to be us all crying and being sad.
Does anyone have... Hold on. Do we have confetti? Does anyone have confetti?
That may be going a little far.
What about wine? Or drinks? Or something?
There are drinks over there by the drink table.
Wait, there's a drink table?
Yes, there's also a table with food.
Have you?
I think we should reserve the alcohol until at least after the funeral.
Oh yeah,
yes.
No, I was going to do that, but
I doubt.
But so, but Terrace, he kind of he looks at the time and he says, speaking of that, we should start the funeral.
Oh yeah, this is a funeral.
Go get your sheets before it's taken up.
Yeah, right.
Yep, that's... Yeah. Wait, is it normally the front part of the,
Yes, it is.
It's reserved for family.
It is. Which, do you guys approach it?
Yes.
Yeah, same.
So as you guys approach the front part, at the very edge of it, you see a white tiefling sitting there. And she's...
Wait. Oh. I was gonna have Zil...
Oh, no, you can have...
I was just gonna have Zil, nod at her and, a greeting of V. Nice to see you again.
She just nods back and doesn't say anything.
I would like to say Kriya's, he wouldn't have gone at first unless Terrace, brought him, which
Terrace is dragging him. Terrace is dragging him.
By the way, Max... sorry, I'll let Eli go first.
I was just gonna say that he's gonna finally do what Terrace told him to do, and he's gonna, try to take a seat beside V, very, nervously, very quietly, kind of panicked.
He's sweating profusely.
Baby.
He's your baby. He's forcing Terrace to sit beside him, though. On the other side.
He's just a little baby.
Oh, yeah, of course. But as everyone sits down and takes their seats, funeral starts. I mean, it's pretty standard. There's the speaker there. She is... She is she looks like an astral elf of some kind.
Oh!
She has a pink skin. She has dark hair, and she seems like a high priestess of some kind. And she basically does a commoderance. There's really nothing like special about it. It's a basic commoderance, as she like says that they're here to celebrate the life of Idris.
Hey, tear time. Not actually. Sorry.
And yes, Eli, don't laugh. You'll make me laugh.
I didn't laugh. I fucking gasped. I hate you. I hate you.
So she stops and she looks to the family and she says, "Would anyone like to come up and speak?"
Out of character, I was gonna have Zil do it, but then I didn't prepare as a player. I got
I was gonna say I would have Sophus, but I have no clue what to say.
I mean, you can improvise.
Y'all can just like go up and say. Y'all can just go up and say that your character said something.
Yeah, okay, I'll have Zil go up and say she said something. I like as a player, I genuinely forgot because I was going to. I just slipped my mind, got busy. But yeah, I can say Zil said something.
Yeah, Sophus would probably say something as well. As a player, yeah, I didn't fucking know shit.
I was planning on it, I just forgot. Genuinely.
Yeah. Terrace better go up.
Terrace does go up.
Good.
He speaks about how basically he owes Idris his life. And just, you know, normal sad, my dad died shit. But does anyone actually, would anyone like to roll an insight check on not Terrace, but would someone like to roll a perception or insight check?
Yeah,
I'll roll one. I would like to make a perception.
Oh, maybe.
Freeze first roll of the campaign. Let's go.
Baby's first roll.
Baby's first roll.
Max, did you say only the front row? Like yes. As in the family? Okay.
Baby's first roll got a 22.
Why did it do a +9? It's a
what other rolls were you saying for the front row?
Either insight or perception.
Insight or perception.
Just if you want to.
14. That's something.
I did my perception.
So
Wait, sorry.
Nope, you're fine. No, you're fine.
Is there like a thingy that I
can
look for, like a +2?
So, Casey, you give me just a moment. This is not what I wanted to go to. But Casey, when you are you wanting to roll insight or perception?
Which one would you say I do?
Either one.
Okay, because there's
I was gonna say there's a good chance they'll be the same.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, you'll just roll that plus, that 1d20 plus. Yeah. Okay.
Isn't it good?
But, Kree, you would notice that when the High Priestess, like, when Terrace goes up to speak and mentions about how he owes Idris his life, you see the High Priestess kind of like... She shifts, as if that statement doesn't sit well with her.
I need to DM you something, Matt.
Oh my goodness.
Also, does anyone else have like a sneaky suspicion you know who's gonna be here?
Who? There's a lot of people here.
Who said who we just fought?
More for Sandus?
No, he will not be here.
Okay.
For specific reasons that do not worry about him.
If he was, he'd most likely be dead.
If he was here, Zil would be feral.
He seemed like the type that would show up at a funeral he wasn't invited to.
I
That does sound like him.
Why? I mean, yeah, he almost did.
Fair enough.
He almost did, but the person who was basically his tracking device left.
Yep.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Y'all never questioned when I said her last name was Drakenheart when I first introduced her. Anyway,
Oh, Max, you didn't say her last name when you introduced her.
Yeah, I did it with
Yeah, you
Did
did.
I not?
Oh,
Yeah, I
well,
did.
I didn't hear it.
I thought you did.
Yeah, I did.
I didn't hear it either, but
Neither did I.
Because you sent it to
even if I
me,
did,
and then Zil greeted her, but her last name was never said.
Oh, I never sent her photo to NPC. My bad.
No. No, you didn't tell the party. I knew, but like Zil already knows, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna question it.
Anyway. Whee! Okay, so pretty much after would anyone else to would anyone else like to speak?
I would say that Astral goes up to speak, but I'm not. Again, I'll just say he spoke.
Okay.
You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna say
Oh.
now.
Oh wait, anyone can go up to speak?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, well, kind of. It's like limited to the people who. Not really.
Oh.
Like there is a limit on it.
And the limit is that really knew him, or
Yeah,
or
like
that-
either his family or just kind of like
Really good
Ah,
friends.
yeah, really close friends.
There are a few hundred people, so if it was open to everyone, Jesus.
They would be here forever. But the funeral, like the speaking service comes to a close. It's now basically kind of go up to the casket, pay your respects, and eat, be merry, and reminisce on Idris and that what you knew him in his life.
Question.
Yes.
Is Salva still around?
Yes.
Okay, well, after Nihilus does that, I'm gonna let everyone else do the thing before he approaches Savos if he's alone. I don't want to take up too much time.
To ask, is this like a touch the casket thing? Like
No.
Military syndrome? Okay. I had to ask.
Not exactly. Like some people are doing that, but those are very clearly people who served with him.
I see. Okay.
Okay, so I want to add, sorry. I do want to say Odysseus did go into the art room, and he did grab some of the art he made of, Idris. He does go up to the casket and kind of... Is he allowed to put, like, the artwork with Idris?
Yeah.
Or no? Okay, he does that. First one he drew of Idris, too, so... He does that.
Auric and Zenith eventually do go up as well. And Auric did have another gift for Idris. Auric lays a flower crown of black lily, or not black lily, sorry, red spider lilies, where people are putting things, and Zenith kind of gives a Leonin salute of honor, which is literally just him saluting.
Okay. Oh, nope, you continue.
And they leave. They, like, after that, they go and mingle. Yeah, they're done.
So the white tiefling that you guys saw that Zil called V, she goes up to the casket and she takes out a dagger and gently puts it in his hand and lays that hand on his chest. before walking away.
I'm sorry. I don't know who.
That's the point.
Yeah, you guys
I
are
also would love to say that with Idris's corpse, he is not in a tux. He is in like a full captain, like pirate-esque fit, like a pirate captain. And it would also be very obvious that his chest, where the relic would be completely covered, so no one would see it. Because, you don't want the injuries to be shown.
What injuries? Exactly.
Exactly. But doesn't anyone else want to do anything?
Actually, did Savos pay his respects and is he alone right now?
Yes.
Nihilus is actually going to go approach him and say, "Hey, Savos, how you doing? That's the whole funeral."
And Nihilus, Savos looks down to you. And he simply just pulls you into a hug.
Nihilus is just going to hug him back.
And Savos, he after a bit, he pulls away. And he clears his throat and he says, "Sorry.
Yeah, I know it can be hard. Even I'm still trying to get over the 3 I've lost still.
Idris was a good man.
I could tell. He helped me learn a few things during our time together.
And he nods. He says he has that effect. I wish we could have seen each other under better circumstances.
Yeah. It is what it is. It just seems like... Oh. Sorry, also, I'm blanking out. I didn't expect someone to be...
You're fine.
I thought he was going to be like, oh, no, he's too busy. No, he's here. Well, shit.
Daddy's home.
Oh.
Did you just say Daddy's home?
Yes.
He's watched Nihilus for over 10 years, so I guess you can call him that. He's like, how are things back at the base? The last time we talked, you seemed concerned.
They're fine.
Alright.
Nothing too drastic has happened or changed, so.
That, nowadays, that's more of a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm traveling with a group of people, and
I've heard.
I think they're actually a good bunch. Kind of rowdy, especially Bluma, which she's not here. She didn't really get along with Idris that well. She's currently spacing herself away.
That's for the best. With
It is.
With Voyage being here, she is very on edge, and...
Wait, what did you say?
He says, with Voyage being here, she is very on edge.
Does that name... Is he saying a phrase, or is he meaning a person?
He seems to be referring to a person.
Does Nihilus know this person, or...
No. Savos looks to Nihilus and says... And, he sees, Nihilus's confusion on, who this person is, and he says, Voyage is... V is the only one of Idris's kids that was... She is the oldest, as she was adopted both by Zora and Idris.
Oh. I'm guessing that was...
She is...
too earlier.
not handling this well. And if anyone were to be here causing problems.
I'm guessing, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to calm
Not gonna
down.
lie.
Listen, miss, you don't want to throw hands with that tiefling. You don't. Is not gonna
Bruno will
live.
not care because, like, I sent a gift of what Bruno would have done, and I am not lying. She would do that.
Luma would have died from the amount of people here who would have rocked her shit.
Probably.
Would not care.
The amount of like
This
possible
is
20
this is a
or
collection of some of the
here
most powerful people alive. Like, to be
Oh yeah,
honest.
speaking of which, would Queen Theodiphany be here?
Yeah,
Or
she's here.
Okay.
Would the actual heiress be here? Just in the
Do
crowd.
you want to look for her?
I mean, like, no. I just think that'd be like for a second. That's who I thought we were gonna see earlier when we saw the dog folk. I thought you were having people roll to see her because I think it would be like it would make sense. It would be funny.
I
Like,
mean,
weird. You guys see
there
Eris.
is someone hiding in a carriage, specifically a
Yeah.
carriage of Laosk. And
Yeah.
Zill has certainly seen Safra.
Zill isn't questioning
the woman,
it. Zill knows
the woman,
most people here.
Yeah, the Safra, the woman that Idris said he contacted.
Yeah.
And Eris picked up for.
Mhm.
So.
I would like to say, Zill and Sopaz are standing at Idris's casket. They're just kind of standing there. And, Corbin would seem to be gone. He's still in his crow form. He would be gone, but he appears to, like, come back with a single black rose. Zill, like, thanks him and, like, takes it from him and then, places it with Idris, next to Idris. In the casket.
And Zill, you feel someone, like, you sense someone approach you.
I turn to look at them?
It is V.
Ah.
And she looks to you and she says, I apologize for how I've treated you in the past. I know I was never the nicest.
You do not need to apologize for that. I understand where you're coming from.
I can't help but blame myself for him not. I understand he's difficult and that he never wanted to move on, but I partially blame myself for that.
You cannot take blame for his stubbornness.
And she nods, but she holds out a hand for, like, to shake for Zill.
Zill would shake her hand. Wait. Actually, Zill would go to shake her hand, and then like Zill would stop and like pull her hand away, and then like look at her own hand and go, "As much as I appreciate the gesture, my abilities are not stable at the moment."
And she nods and she says, I understand that. I just understand that.
Zill would give like a sad smile and like a nod.
But she bows her head and turns away.
Also, I want to do. Niles is just gonna have small conversations with Severus, also helping him. Comfort him.
Zill would turn back to Sopaz in the casket. Is Sopaz gonna question anything, or is he just watching the interaction?
He's not going to really question it, but he is just going to mutter in like a very just like there's clearly sadness in his voice. I'm sorry.
Is he talking to Zil or Idris?
Like a bit of both. Like he's turned towards you, but like that in his hand, you will see that necklace like wrapped around his fingers, and if he doesn't know if to keep it or place it, but like he's also just apologizing to Zil.
Zil would see this, and she would look at the necklace thing, look at Sopes, and go, he would want you to have it.
He just give like really just small nod. I know. It's just difficult. Words, I'm sorry. I'm trying also not to let my voice crack.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
You're fine. No, how do you fake roleplay a funeral? Like, we're all IRL sad right now.
I mean, most of us are.
Am I gonna accept me?
Well,
Yeah.
most of our characters had deep emotional connections, okay? Leave the family alone.
Meanwhile, I'm trying not to cry.
I mean, that's why I've been silent for the past hours.
Which is fair, though. Which is fair and understandable.
But what would happen if Sopes tried to hug Zil?
This is gonna say Zil would flinch away from him. Like, physically flinch away from him to make sure he does not touch her.
Yeah, he'd give a small, like, nod, and he's like, right, the conversation you just had. Sorry.
You are fine. I don't wish to harm anyone.
I can understand that. I apologize. It's just a little rough.
I understand. Out of character, Zil is thinking back to the conversation, goodness, her and Sopes had like a few days ago in the bar, where he was like
exactly what's going through.
Yeah, it's like the exact reason where she had a whole thing of like, you can't tell me why I should feel emotions. I know exactly why I shouldn't. Her can't touch anyone because she's feeling human emotions.
Yeah, but no, that is exactly like that conversation is going through Sopes' head too.
Yeah.
But fuck, I don't know. Sopes, he's just gonna fall a little silent now.
Same with Zil. Anyone else want to do anything? I've done enough crying tonight, guys.
I mean,
Cree, would you like to do the thing that you're DMing me about?
Yes.
Okay.
Because Cree, after like talking to Terrace and like everyone would be getting up, he would have done his condolences with his dad by Idris, but I'd assume Terrace would have ended up getting split off because people wanting to talk to him.
Yeah.
You know, because funeral things.
Pretty much.
So Cree would have ended up just kind of like going around to see if he could find a Croza or someone.
And he would not find a Croza, but he would find the person hiding in a carriage.
And he would, you know, kind of want to lives up to what his dad asked him about making a new friend. So he'd probably walk over to them because they're alone. And he'd be messing with his, like, he'd be holding his tail and kind of like messing with the thimble that's on it. Just kind of like very nervously approaching.
And this figure in that's hiding does not seem to notice you. It's almost like they're like reading a book or something.
So when Kree is by the carriage, can he genuinely just kind of like look in because he's that tall, or?
Yes.
Because I feel bad for this, but Kree would kind of like he'd kind of be sitting there for a second and like mess with his tail, kind of like looking down at his shoes, and he'd kind of like tap on like the little door of the carriage very quietly.
And this person looks up and they open the carriage door and they quietly say, can I help you?
And he's gonna look at him and like it looks like he's struggling at first to find words, but he's just going to look at them and go, "Hi."
Hello. Shouldn't you be at the funeral?
He'd probably look back to the funeral and kind of like look back to them and kind of just shrug.
And this person, they kind of move over in the carriage and says, well, would you like to sit with me? I know people can be kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, and Kree would just end up nodding and kind of like get into the carriage and sit down with this person. And he'd sit there for a second messing with his tail and kind of like, again, he still has not looked her in the eye. Like, all four of his eyes are like set down on his tail, messing with the thimble. And he's just gonna go, Kree.
Is that your name?
And he's going to nod his head.
And this she nods and she says, well, my name holds a lot more meaning than I want it to, but my name is Eris. Eris Dione.
And he's gonna nod and kind of like finally look up at her and just kind of like he's giving a very shy yet awkward smile as like a nice to meet you type of thing.
And like she kind of like opens up a compartment and she says, what kind of books do you like to read?
He does understand it, but he's gonna just like tilt his head because I don't think he can read Common Max, can he?
Probably not. But like Eris, she says, what kind of books do you like read to you?
He's gonna shrug.
And she goes to the compartment and she says, well, this is a book that I find fairly interesting and it's child friendly. And she opens it and she says, would you like me to read it to you?
And Kree would seem to get a little bit excited, and when he did, kind of to explain to the viewers, like with cats, you know how like they chitter a little bit to also players, like kind of like when they're sort of happy, like it's kind of like a purring and a chittering that's heard.
Yes.
Eris would realize that noise came from Kree. Like a soft chittering that's not like a chittering / humming would kind of escape him. And he'd seem to like move a little bit closer to Eris, but of course like make sure they're spaced enough so she's not uncomfortable. And kind of be looking at the book kind of like a child would. And that seems very excited.
She just smiles and reads him the book.
Kree making a move. God damn, moving fast.
I'm sorry, this woman is married.
Kree just wanted a friend, Isaac.
I know.
Isaac, the last time we checked, the only person making a move on Eris was you.
No! Not fair.
Oh god, who's just gonna find Kree in the carriage, though, is the question.
his
'Cause-
mother.
He doesn't have one.
Oh, that's...
But players would have noticed that Kree, like, if they had been looking around, they would have noticed that, like, he kind of, like, walked away and just, got into a random carriage.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have laughed. So you can't do that nowadays. Sorry.
Uh-huh. Holy shit.
So, Max.
Yes.
Astral would have been outside at the time, so I'm assuming he sees this.
Yeah.
Does he happen to see who's in the cart?
Not exactly. You just know that the cart was the door was opened and Kree hopped in it. And the door is still open, but
So Astral's just kind of like wander over. And
Astral, as you get within earshot, you do hear talking. And you hear kind of familiar talking.
Okay.
Do you continue to walk towards it?
He does continue to walk towards it. Despite his better judgment. He continues to walk forward, and I'm guessing the voice just gets more and more familiar the closer he gets.
Yes.
And I guess he's going to like take a peek inside the cart once he gets close enough.
And inside you see you see a familiar face. You see Eris, except she's different in a sense. She is, well, other than she's reading a book to Kree. But you see some crutches kind of tucked in the corner of the carriage, and arm crutches specifically tucked in the corner of the carriage, and she seems to be like in regal clothes, regal bright colors, not the dark kind of shrouded colors that you saw the quote unquote heiress wear in the past. As well as her hair is longer and it's kept in a neat ponytail on her back. Like, yeah.
Okay. So Astral just kind of stops for a moment. He's just kind of staring at her. And he's speechless because like he knows that like that fucking I can't remember his name, bad guy that Corsandus was impersonating her. So but it's more like one of those things where like she has that face. So he knows that it's not him, but like it's like one of those things where like it just triggers memories. And he's just looking at her for a few minutes.
And she looks over to you, and like she stops reading and like looks over to you, and after a couple seconds she says, "Can I help you?"
That like he says, "No, I do not believe you can. In fact, it is not your fault, but you're doing quite the opposite right now. If you can..." So, did anybody actually tell her? Like, I know that Idris kind of spoke to her about it, so they actually told her what Corsandus was doing?
Not exactly, but she knows that Corsandus was parading around with her face, and that she does know that Corsandus killed Idris.
Okay, so...
And she is only there because her wife is...
Yeah.
Yeah, because her wife was friends with Idris.
Mm-hmm. And he just says, "I apologize. Do not take this wrong way. Do not take this the wrong way, but you wear the face of a traitor."
As I have been told. That is why I'm in here.
Of course. I apologize for my rudeness. I did not
No,
mean
you're
to
fine.
intrude.
You're okay. Though, this person got a lot of things wrong about me, other than
I see
the
that.
fact I killed my father, and I am in fact a Krovnir. I'm not a paladin, I'm an artificer. Cleric? Paladin? Whatever she was.
I believe some
Artificer.
sorts of blood cleric. But I'm not certain about that. And he says, I'm sure you know I was, well, probably not. I'm a part of the party that was there when Idris was murdered.
And she nods. And she says, my condolences.
It's all right. I did not know him that well. He says, I know that sounds insensitive, but it is how I grieve, I suppose.
And
He says,
she nods.
So, from what I remember, this person and this heiress and her wife are they the leader of a country?
Her wife is
Or
the
they just
queen of a kingdom.
okay?
Or the queen of a city.
Okay. And which city was it exactly?
Laosk.
Laosk. He says, I know this is not the best times, but I am seeking allies from my people. We seek to expand our territories and hopefully someday have our own kingdom. And if your kingdom would support us, we would be forever grateful.
And like Eris, she gives you a soft smile. She says, I'm certain I can convince Safra to join your allies.
By the way, Kirsten, when is the time? After this, she's just gonna fucking leave. but anyway,
Hey,
exactly.
Fair, but
so
God, the timing.
it's like
At least he acknowledged
I'll explain
it.
it afterwards. I'll explain afterwards.
No, you're fine. I was just making a joke. No way.
And he says, that is very good to hear. If you could, send a letter to the leader of the New Hope in Blackwater and let him know of your cooperation. And
gladly.
and he just gives a nod, and he gives Kree a nod, and he's like, I will trouble you no longer. And he just walks away.
Before he walked away though, I would like to say that when he would have came up and started talking to Eris, it would be noticeable that when he called her a traitor, he kind of would be already slightly protective, type of thing. Just kind of making sure, keeping an eye on him that he didn't do anything, but as soon as it was very obvious he wasn't going to do anything, he would just immediately revert back to being shy. And kind of when Astral nodded to him, he would notice that Kree was not looking him in the face and kind of was still a little bit huddled to Eris. And kind of just very awkward.
Okay. So Astral's, he's seen this type before, so he knows that pursuing it's probably just gonna make it worse. So he just again, he says what he said, and then he just turns and walks away and goes back to doing what he was doing outside, because he doesn't know anybody inside, so why would he stick around inside?
Yeah.
Just grab some refreshments and leave, bro. It's like a party.
Grab some alcohol. Take an Irish leave.
Astral is sworn off of alcohol. Just
Why? That's no fun.
After what happened with the salt, he's never going back.
Oh God.
The cubes of sugar.
But I would like to say when Astral did walk away, he kind of like turned to Eris with like a look of just the entire of he just made a new friend and he's making sure they're okay. Just like a kind of head tilt.
Eris will just smile at him and just say, "Should we continue where we left off?"
And he'd kind of like chitter again, just very happily and just nod and like kind of like watch.
Then she will continue reading. And we're gonna skip to the end of the funeral and to the burying. The burial.
So Eli was gonna have Zenith walk up to Sopas and
sorry.
Zill.
Yes.
Yeah, he has to see no mic.
Yes. Okay.
I am very sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
So Sopez and Zill, after a few moments after you guys would have had your little moment, I guess we could call it, Zenith would try, as weird as it is for this 8'4" like Leonin, he's trying to gently approach you both with like a somber manner. And he says, Zill, Sopez. And he gives you both a small bow.
She would turn and like nod at him in like recognition, just turn to look at him.
To you specifically, Sil, I wanted to apologize. I was quite rash and angry back in the cart, if you remember what I'm referring to. And my mannerisms, while I personally believe they were correct, they may not have been for you and or for Sopez. So I wanted to deeply apologize for my mannerisms there. And he gives another small bow.
Zill would just I was waiting to see if you were going to, but Zill would just nod and she would just sorry, I'm thinking. She would just nod and just be like, it's all right. It's just I knew it wasn't going to work and I just wanted to get him home. That is why I left so abruptly like I did.
I am glad that you were able to get him here. And I know what I am about to ask is not the correct timing, but going forward, I need to prepare for the future. I wanted to ask what you two plan to do after all of this.
I will be going after Corsandus.
I see.
I do not know about the rest of the party, and I will not force them to come with me, but they are invited. I cannot do nothing.
If you would have me, I would be honored to join you. In the name of Idris and what he has done to protect my son when Corsandus lied about hurting him.
Thank you. God, I lost my voice there for a second, sorry. Thank you. That would be much appreciated.
You have my blade when you need it. And Mr. Sopez, this may seem rude of me to say, but after you had read that letter to us, I made a promise to myself. As Idris may have protected my son, I will do the same for you. Feel free to... Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sopez. Oh, okay, go.
Feel free to rely on me as a shield or sword whenever you need it.
He's saying he wants to be a human I'm sorry.
So he'd give like a. So I think solemn's the word I want to use. He'd give like a solemn smile before just. I appreciate it. Spock, what is your character's name again?
Zenith.
Zenith. I had the biggest stroke.
You're fine.
Appreciate that, Zenith, and I will do what I can to help you as well.
The only thing I need to do is see Corsandus' head on a silver platter. And I wish to help put it there.
And I'm sure most, or at least some of us, still want that.
Again, sorry for the non-correct timing of that, but planning for the future, I want to make sure Auric is safe. And I want to make sure I can also see that Idris is avenged. If you need anything, Auric and I are going to spend time at the barn, if you guys allow it.
Listen, you can't fuck up the barn more than I have. So you're more than
Just
welcome. I'm
be
sure Auric would
cautionary of
love.
some of the animals in there.
Although I'm sure Auric would
Out
love
of out of character, there's a bunch of animals and creatures and things that could be considered quote-unquote monsters that are very tame and friendly in there. Orc would have a heyday.
And Auric was hoping to release the slime that he captured back when we were traveling with Idris in there, if you both would allow it.
I think that would be okay.
Still would just nod.
Yeah, to let Zill and Sopaz know they would have done that if you're still alive. But kind of can't do that when you're
I will also say
about
that
to be.
If they go to the barn, they would pass the carriage.
Oh, they would?
They would.
So after having received, the go-ahead, he does give a small bow and say, "Thank you both for your time, and if you need anything, Auric and I are here for you." I
And
as Sword and Shield, and Auric as, well, Auric. Oh, and no need to thank us. And Zenith will take off, grabbing Auric by the hand and leading him towards the barn.
You guys would hear chittering from the carriage, by the way, to let you know. It's not too loud, but it is noticeable.
Sorry, I just received a DM. Auric would probably peer in.
And he would also hear, someone reading a book. And he would hear a familiar name being said.
Auric or Zenith?
Both.
Oh.
Besides the familiar voice.
What's the name? May I ask?
Ooh. Hold on, I need to check something real quick because I cannot remember what you said. The fucking.
The one that Zenith named after. Yeah. Hold on.
Hold on, give me a moment.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm changing the name just slightly because it's more, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so you hear the familiar name of Quincy the Far-Seeing Star.
Hearing that name, Zenith kind of stops, as well as Auric, and Auric approaches the cart door and gives a small knock.
Oh, the door's open.
Yeah, it is open. There is just a curtain kind of blocking the view of the faces of those inside.
Oh, okay. So Zenith is probably. Oh well, Kree could fit in it. So Zenith and Auric begin to climb in. Auric announces himself. Hello?
I would like to say as soon as the knock happened, though, the chittering would very quickly stop.
I'm sorry. I just heard a familiar name. Quincy the Far-Sighted Star?
Far-Seeing Star.
Far-Seeing, sorry.
Yes, she's the main character of this book.
And Zenith, as Zenith begins to peer in, this big Leonin guy, he says, "So, Quinn got a name, or got a book named after her? Interesting."
Well, it seems that this was the book written about her. It says that it's mostly just talking about her time as the leader of Ethovaris.
Ethovaris, Max?
It's a king. It's one of the 4 kingdoms of Ashura.
Okay, that's what I thought. Zenith, like, he seems taken aback by that specifically, and he goes, wow. Whew. Who knew my training buddy would be like that?
You knew her?
Yeah, back when I served in the forces of Ashura, specifically, I can't remember the name of the country. Shoot.
Lavadon.
Specifically Lavadon. She and I were bunkmates, essentially. I had her back and she had mine. I even named this little guy after her. And, like, Zenith kind of pats the back of Auric.
And you guys can't really see, like, the entire face of the woman talking, but she seems to nod, from what you can partially see of it.
Sorry for intruding. We just heard the name and...
No, you're okay. I am just trying to hide away, as... I'm not exactly the person people want to see, even though I've done nothing wrong.
Would Auric or Zenith be able to recognize who this is?
Yes.
Okay.
Her voice is very, like, kind of... It's recognizable.
Ingrained, maybe?
Yeah.
Auric says, Oh, I'm very sorry. I am so very sorry.
No, you're fine. You didn't do anything wrong.
I know, but if you are who I think you are, ma'am, we traveled with Idris.
Yes.
Yes. And we know the person who mimicked you.
But if you would like a copy of the book, I have a couple.
We would be willing to pay if that's necessary.
No. I have plenty of books, trust me, and many more copies. And she kind of, like, comes out from behind the curtain just a bit to go back to the trunk, and, like, she is very heavily, like, leaning against the wall. It's very clear that she didn't want to get her arm crutches, so she's just kind of, like, making her life more difficult.
On purpose.
Yes,
Auric
because
would go
she's
to
being
help her.
lazy. And she says, "Oh no, I'm fine. Don't worry. I get around like this all the time."
Oh, okay.
But she hands Auric the book, and this book is called "The Adventures of Quincy, the Far-Seeing Star."
All right. Hey, Zenny, can we read this later? And Zenith responds, "Of course, Auric. We will get back to taking your little slime friend to the barn now."
And Eris waves at both of them and says, have a good night.
They return the have a good night.
And Eris, you guys can hear Eris go back to reading Kree, the book.
Yep, and they head to the barn.
Okay. And I'm going to skip to the burial, which is, a couple hours later. Everyone's left by this point. The party's kind of camping outside on the outskirts. And if the party were to look, they can kind of see the outlines of, like, the people holding the lanterns burying Idris. Does anyone in the Direct family say anything? Or would they like to do anything?
Zill
Isaac, if you are speaking, we cannot hear you.
What?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Okay, there we go.
I wasn't speaking at all.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just thought he was moving, because that's what I heard. Zill would just be standing there silently while everything's going down. Like, she would be there, but she wouldn't be making any commentary at all.
Who all is there? Like, is Akroza and them there, or?
Yes. So, like, Akroza's there. I imagine Terrace and Kree are there. The white tiefling from earlier is there.
Odysseus did show up.
Yeah.
I would like to say that Kree probably, like, again, trying to go out of his way to do stuff for his dad. He probably would have found a flower nearby and would have walked up to V and gave it to her very quietly before kind of like he kind of would like very gently like tap her on the shoulder, because I assume he's taller than her. I'm just going to assume that heavily.
Yes.
Because okay, he's just very quiet, like very gently going to tap her on the shoulder.
And you're talking to Voyage, right?
Mm-hmm.
She looks to Kree.
And he's just going to give her a little white flower, like a daisy.
And she will softly smile at him and like just kind of pat his shoulder.
Patting his shoulder. Kree would just like very awkwardly smile and just kind of like not really waddle, but yes, waddle back to Terrace after that. And kind of stay by his side and holding his hand.
I would like to say really quickly, Odysseus may or may not have had a few too much to drink.
If you ruin this funeral,
No, I'm not. I'm trying.
Not ruin it.
No.
What
It's
what
like,
does drunk Odysseus say?
Nothing. He's just kind of
Is he wobbly?
No.
No.
He's just tipsy. He's just tipsy.
Who's burying him?
I would imagine like Terrace.
Okay.
Or like
then...
he's helping lower Idris's casket.
Okay. Well, Akroza is the one being handheld then, because Kree is taking and harassing Akroza.
Okay. Okay.
Terrace is busy.
He can harass his great uncle.
He's just like standing by his side, and like no one would be able to hear it except Akroza, but in his native tongue, he would just be very quietly, like, you know, very kid things of just like very awkwardly asking, just, Akroza okay? But that would just be something between them.
Mm-hmm. And as they do like a whole little moment of throw the dirt on the casket before burying him, and I mean, he's gone.
Don't sell. You can't just say.
The music makes this so much not sadder, guys.
It's really funny because I can laugh.
No, the music
I get
makes
to
it
laugh at
so
your misery.
Say goodbye to Idris, guys.
Fuck off. Oh.
Bye, Idris.
Isaac and I are not okay. Shut the fuck up.
Say bye-bye to Idris.
Bye-bye, Idris.
And if we were in person, I would tell Eli to rip up his sheet. But if he wanted to.
Oh, I would have.
Oh, that would make it so much worse, though.
Oh, that would hurt.
No.
But
you just get a lighter, light on fire.
That is where we're ending session. I hope you guys enjoyed, even though it was mostly talking to family.
No, that made it so much better.